made of. And just 6 years into Luka Doncic's career, we're seeing what he's made of.
Gobert's out there. Doncic maneuvers for the lead. Got it! Got it! What a shot! Dallas has taken the lead.
It's the stuff of legends. It's the way we talked about Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, Magic and Bird. It's the way our grandfathers talk about the Big Dipper and Bill Russell. And it's clear whatever ran through their veins is currently coursing through Luka's. That never say die mentality, that relentless killer instinct, that step on your throat toughness.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, back again. Marlo knows basketball and Marlo knows boxing. Back at y'all with another one. Luka Doncic can't be the best player in the NBA. It's impossible. It's impossible. Luka Doncic, for Luka to become the best player in the NBA, he's got to win a championship. You cannot be the best player in the NBA without winning a championship. Doncic puts up the numbers to be the best player in the NBA, but the numbers don't mean nothing until you actually win. You play to win the game. Luka just put up some all-time great playoff stats. He's put up all-time great playoff stats and regular season stats his whole career. But until he wins a championship, he can't be the best player. In the history of the NBA, there's never been a player that has been the best, undisputed best player in the NBA that hasn't won a championship. During the decade of the 70s, starting in, I believe, 71, when Kareem won his first championship, he became the best player in the NBA because he won the championship. He had the numbers and he had the championship to go along with it. You have to be a champion. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar became the undisputed best player in the NBA after becoming a champion, after he won. In the 1980s, it was a toss-up. There were two players that were tied for best player in the NBA, and that's Bird and Magic. They fought over it, literally fighting over it. Who was the best player in the league? And that's because they fought over championships. It's about winning. Whoever wins is the best. And these guys traded wins and traded punches like boxers. And that was a tug of war in the 80s. So neither one of these guys were the undisputed best player in the NBA because of each other, because they fought over championships. 1 year you win, 1 year I win, 1 year you win, 1 year I win. So in the 80s, Bird and Magic together were the best player in the NBA. And obviously, Michael Jordan became the best player in the NBA after he beat Magic Johnson. He finally became the undisputed best player in the NBA. He shut up all the critics that say he couldn't win. He was putting up numbers, but he couldn't win. And a lot of people still believe that Magic was the best player in the NBA in 1991 until Jordan snatched that championship for him. After Jordan won, he officially became the undisputed best player in the NBA. After Jordan retired after the 1993 championship, Hakeem became the undisputed best player in the NBA. Why? Because he won back-to-back championships. Back-to-back championships as the best player on the team. That's when he officially became the best player in the NBA. And it wasn't debatable until Michael Jordan came back and went on another three-peat. Then Jordan retires and Tim Duncan becomes the best player in the NBA. Even though it was a shortened season that started in February of 1999, Tim Duncan still dominated the playoffs, dominated Shaquille O'Neal, even swept the Lakers. He averaged like 27, 28 points a game. Shaq only averaged 22. That was before the emergence of Kobe Bryant. And Tim Duncan left no question at the end of 1999 that he was the best player in the NBA. But then, of course, in the year 2000, the Lakers win, go on an unprecedented three-peat. Once again, one of only three teams, the Celtics in the 60s, Jordan's Bulls, and Shaq and Kobe Lakers, to go on a three-peat. Shaq then himself became the best player in the NBA, finally. But he was never seen as the best player in the NBA until he won a championship. And much like the 80s, in the early 2000s, it was a tug of war. 2003, Tim Duncan snatched that title back by winning the championship in 2003 and became the best player in the NBA once again. I don't even think he had an all-star on his team. That was other than Hakeem in 1994. I can't remember a player winning. Maybe Dirk, 2011. We'll get to him. But Tim Duncan going on that great championship run in 2003, again became the best player in the NBA. And then, of course, Tim Duncan again wins the championship in 2005. And, the majority of people thought he was the undisputed best player in the NBA. Up until then, pretty much from 2003 to 2005, there wasn't much of an argument against Tim Duncan. But starting in 2006, when, of course, the Spurs lost and Tim Duncan started to kind of dip his production, he wasn't as good as he was in the early 2000s. Rumblings started to happen where it was a debate between who's the best player in the NBA between Kobe and LeBron. Kobe already being a champion, LeBron yet to win his first championship. But that debate was put to bed by the end of the 2000s. In 2009, when Kobe Bryant wins yet another championship, his fourth championship, and then wins his fifth championship in 2010, and became the undisputed best player in the NBA. I believe from 2006 to 2010, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the NBA, undisputed best player in the NBA, because he was a champion, because he won. It's about winning. You gotta win. If you're not playing to win, what are you playing for? And even Nick Wright himself, the biggest LeBron glazer in the history of since LeBron's been born, he glazes LeBron more than LeBron's own mom, admitted that the consensus best player in the NBA during that time period, even though he himself, obviously he's not going to agree, but he admitted that Kobe Bryant was seen by the vast majority of people as the best player in the NBA during that period.
There's no one in league history who has held the title best player in the league before they either have won an MVP or multiple or won a championship. The only possible exception would be maybe LeBron at 22 after he got to the finals with that 48 special, but the very next year he won MVP, and I think most people at that moment still thought it was probably Kobe, even if I thought it was LeBron.
So even Nick Wright admits that during that period of 2006 to 2010, Kobe was the best player in the NBA. Unanimous decision, Kobe was the best player in the NBA. Even if he himself disagrees, that's his opinion. Majority rules. Kobe Bryant was the best player in the NBA from 2006 to 2010. Now in 2011, a lot of people would want to just go ahead and say, all right, 2011, that's where LeBron took over. I can't give him that title starting in 2011. Not how poorly he played in the finals, averaging 17 points a game. He had an 8-point game. An 8-point game in the finals. He wasn't injured. He didn't have any excuse. He just played terribly. He wasn't even the best player on his team. He wasn't even the second best player on his team. Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade was the Miami Heat's best player, obviously. Chris Bosh was their second best player, and LeBron was their third best player. So in 2011, I would have to say Dirk Nowitzki actually became the best player in the NBA by the end of 2011. I thought it was Dirk. But then in 2012, LeBron finally becomes the undisputed best player in the NBA. And I got to give it to him. He went on an unprecedented run. He was the best player in the NBA from 2012, in my opinion, all the way until 2019. And that's when I feel like the consensus by the end of the 2019 season, it was Kawhi Leonard. It was Kawhi Leonard. By the end of 2019, Kawhi Leonard was the best player in the NBA. I don't really think it was debatable. But then in 2020, you got to give it to him. LeBron James again becomes the best player in the NBA in the year 2020. No, people want to talk about it's a bubble championship, this, that, and the third. It's still a championship. He still snatched that Larry O'Brien trophy and was clearly the best player throughout that playoffs, the best player throughout that season. A lot of people would probably say Giannis during the regular season, but it doesn't matter. The regular season doesn't matter if you're not holding that Larry O'Brien trophy at the end. And LeBron James was holding that trophy. And he was the best player on his team, clearly. So you have to say LeBron James is the best player in the NBA by the end of the 2020 season. And then by the end of the 2021 season, the title changes hands again. At this point, it's changing hands every year. So it went from Kawhi Leonard back to LeBron James. In 2021, it was clearly Giannis with that closeout 50-piece special, 50-piece chicken nugget, a 50-piece wing, a 50-piece wing dinner that he put on the Suns in the NBA Finals to snatch that championship. By the end of that season, that's the best NBA Finals game in my opinion. That's the best NBA Finals game maybe of all time. I know it's the best NBA Finals game that I've ever seen from a player. When I say best NBA Finals game, I mean best NBA Finals performance. Was what Giannis Antetokounmpo did in Game 6 of the 2021 NBA Finals to close out that series, dropping 50 in a closeout game to win the championship. Now that was impressive. So, you had to give it to Giannis. Everybody gave it to Giannis, and rightfully so. Unanimous decision, Giannis Antetokounmpo 2021 was the best player in the league. He didn't hold the title long, just as I'm telling y'all, it's changing year after year. The next year, Wardell Stephen Curry snatches the title of best player in the NBA. And for everybody that's going to say that, oh, well, he won the championship in 2015, in 2018, he wasn't the best player, though. He wasn't the best player during the 2015 championship. He was not the best player in that NBA Finals. I feel like LeBron James was the best player in that series, in the 2015 series. Even though the Cavs lost, LeBron was basically going 1v5 against the Warriors and was putting in work and really scared the Warriors, had them down 2-1 in the series. So I felt like LeBron came away still looking like the best player in the league, even though he didn't win the championship. And then, of course, 2016, LeBron wins the championship. 2017 and 18, y'all all gotta click up and get Kevin Durant to win championships, and it just still made it look like LeBron was the best player in the league because y'all gotta click up, y'all gotta get Kevin Durant just to beat this man. So I couldn't give him the title, but after 2022, Stephen Curry was clearly the best player in that playoffs, the best player in the finals. By the end of that season, Stephen Curry was unanimously the best player in the NBA. And again, like I said, man, people aren't holding that title very, very long, man. It's changing year after year. The very next year, Nikola Jokic gets his help back. He gets Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back and made it look pretty easily. He made it look pretty easy. No one really challenged the Nuggets in that 2023 playoffs, and Jokic cruised to the championship, put up historic numbers, was clearly the best player in the championship, came away with the Larry O'Brien trophy. Unanimously, Jokic, by the end of 2023, was the best player in the league. And sadly, Jokic is still the best player in the league, man. There's been no playoff or finals performance that has shown that somebody has taken that title from him. Even though he lost to Ant-Man and the T-Wolves, it still doesn't. He still didn't lose that title. No one took it from him. Luka had a chance to take it from him, but he couldn't get it done. Every image, every photo, every moment in which you see a new best player in the NBA being crowned involves this trophy, the Larry O'Brien trophy. If this trophy is not in the picture, then you're not the best player. You play to win. So if you don't win, how can you be the best? Like the great Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game.
Greatest thing about sports is you play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.